The next session is going to be an enthralling one. एक रोमांचक सेशन के लिए जोरदार तालियां आपसे अब सुनना चाहूंगा मैं, क्योंकि ये सेशन होगा तेजस्वी सूर्या, बीजेपी लोकसभा मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ BJYM और हमारे NewsX के एडिटर इन चीफ ऋषभ गुलाटी के साथ। जोरदार तालियां।
It is a treat always to be in conversation with Tejasvi, whose career we've been very carefully following as the bright young man of the BJP in Bengaluru. Tejasvi, now you are no longer a new politician. You are a veteran politician, even though you are a young politician. But a lot of, since we first met and when we first had a TV interview, 4 or 5 years ago, you were part of a very important organization in the Bharatiya Janata Party that did a lot of community service during COVID. We are coming to another election. You've seen the turbulence of politics in Karnataka. How's the journey been so far?
Thank you so much, Rishabh ji, and all of you for having me here today. I would say that the last 4.5 years, more than anything else, has been a very steep learning curve for me as a young political activist who has come up the ranks in the organization, primarily wedded to a particular ideology, a worldview. The last 4 years has been a very humbling experience because I have seen the vastness of this country, the diversity of this country. I have also got to see the promise that our political system holds to effect change, to bring in transformation in the country. I still remember, in the early days of the Anna Hazare movement, my friends and I, we all had started participating in the protests because we were fed up with the way politics was run in the country. We were angry that politics was used as a means of personal aggrandizement by political leaders and not as a means for public service. And this was the worldview with which many young people participated in the Anna Hazare movement. And it was pretty much the same worldview with which I also had participated until 2013 happened, when Narendra Modi ji appeared as a ray of hope in an otherwise forlorn and dark political environment in the country. And in the last, I started working as a party activist in 2013 for Prime Minister's campaign. Now the last 4 years I have worked as MP from Bangalore. I have worked the last 3 years as the national president of Yuva Morcha. I can tell you in the last 4.5, 5 years, my cynicism has gotten replaced with optimism. The image that all politics and all politicians are the same has changed. And I am a firm believer today in the positive potential that politics as a means of service holds for transforming this nation. And it is thanks to the work that Prime Minister Modi has done.
Okay, so...
And I'll just take 30 seconds more. Also, I started my work as a Karyakarta of the BJYM in Bengaluru South. Never did I have, even in my wildest dreams, the thought that I would one day be a member of parliament representing that constituency. I still remember having a conversation with one of the organizing secretaries 6 years ago that I don't want to take up national responsibility in the party because I cannot afford flight tickets as and when the national president of BJYM would call us for meetings. That day, I never had an inkling that one day I myself would be leading the Yuva Morcha as the national president. This just shows that the BJP is one such organization which identifies young people, grooms them, gives them an opportunity, a really flat democratic platform where young people can actually make their careers in politics.
Okay.
So these have been my two learnings.
So, but what are the other complicated lessons of politics? The other complicated lessons of politics is that sometimes you lose, as in Karnataka, you've lost. And the very strange thing that sometimes the BJP loses in the states but completely sweeps in the Lok Sabha. Sometimes the reverse can also happen. Politics is of that nature. What is that lesson learned? What has the recent Karnataka elections taught you?
Well, every election, whether we win or whether we lose, offers multiple lessons for political activists and a political party. When we win, there are multiple factors that would have contributed to our success. When we would have lost, likewise, there would be multiple factors that would have contributed to our loss. A responsible political party introspects on the reasons for our loss or on the reasons for our victory, makes amends and course correction when we have lost a particular election, consolidates and draws positive lessons when we have won a particular election. I think whether it is in Karnataka or whether it is in Chhattisgarh or whether it is in Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, the Bharatiya Janata Party as an organization looks at election results with equanimity. We want to draw lessons so that we understand what we can do better to win the mandate of people repeatedly.
Okay, Tejasvi.
So win and loss is a part of politics.
Yes.
But there is this one interesting fact that I want to share with you and the audience. Of all the political parties, regional, national, that have gone to elections as an incumbent, not one time, but not two times, but as thrice before the people as an incumbent party, the Bharatiya Janata Party has a strike rate of 50% of coming back to power after being incumbent for 3 consecutive terms. No other party has this kind of a record. It just shows that while we are in power, we do a lot of things right.
Okay.
We have the leadership that inspires people. Our policies are clear. Our intention, people know, is clean. And our delivery has been matchless and peerless, which is why today, Rishabhji, 2 things have happened all over the country today if you observe our politics. I'll just take 10 seconds more.
Please.
All over the country, Bharatiya Janata Party under Narendra Modi ji has emerged as the default choice of people as a good governance party. If you want good governance, then vote for BJP. This is the first change that has happened. The second change that has happened is this. For almost 70 long years in the country's political economy, the first choice of the poor was always the Congress party because the poor were promised Garibi Hatao. But this promise was elusive for 70 years. Today, the first choice of the poor in the country is also the BJP because we have delivered on good governance and translated good governance into real tangible benefits for the poorest, which has translated into 13.5 crore people being lifted out of poverty. So why we win is because we are the default party of good governance. Why we win is because we are also the default party of choice for the poor of this country.
Okay, so now there obviously you're a member of parliament from an urban constituency in Bangalore. So I have to ask you about Bangalore. Year after year, government after government, decade after decade, why does it get messier? Why do the traffic jams get longer? Why does the civic infrastructure struggle so much? I mean, we've seen the horrific death of a young woman and her child because of a loose wire on the roads. That's really difficult to explain. What are we not getting right?
If you will allow me, I will want to give 2 answers to this question. One being a more broader answer on the state of India's urban governance, municipal governance. And I would also want to say what corrective measures we have tried to take in Bangalore with respect to addressing Bangalore's congestion under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. First, as somebody who is born and raised in an urban setting like Bangalore, and most of you perhaps are also from Delhi, Gurgaon, and all of these places, you will notice that the focus of our politics all over the country primarily has been agriculture, rural areas, and not as much the urban centers and municipal governance. This is the case all over. Bangalore may come in news because of its social media presence and young tech-savvy people. But if you look at most of our cities need a major surgery in terms of our urban governance apparatus. If you look at mayoral offices in different parts of the world, whether it is in London or whether it is in New York, we have a very powerful, politically accountable mayor. But in most of the cities in India, the office of the mayor is a political puppet, more of a ceremonial post where there is no political power or accountability. I will give you the case of Bangalore. I have been at least personally trying to make a campaign to change this. The average term of office for a mayor in Bangalore was 1 year. Okay, and Bangalore has 198 wards. And I can tell you that the first 3-4 months upon getting elected to that office of a mayor would go in understanding what to do. Then the next 4-5 months goes in preparing for your retirement. Then you are left with a few months in between where even if you visit one particular corporation ward every day in Bangalore, you are still left wanting for more days to cover the whole city. So we have made such structures where we cannot demand accountability and governance at the municipal level. I think for the first time, under Narendra Modi, the government of India gave special importance and focus to urban governance. For example, the 100 Smart Cities mission is a flagship initiative because we wanted to support infrastructure in emerging towns. I really would urge upon all of you young people here to read the National Urban Policy of 2017. It is very progressive. It has a lot of promise for a lot of our problems. The allocation of the Urban Development Ministry's budget, the Mahua budget, is grown multifold, increased over the last few years. Metro connectivity, which is the only solution to addressing traffic congestion in any of our cities, has increased rapidly under Narendra Modi government over the last 9 years. So this is something that has plagued all cities like Bangalore. But now, I would just take 30 seconds to explain to you how we have tried to address this issue of traffic congestion in Bangalore on a war footing. In just 2019 and now, the city had 7 kilometers of metro connectivity in 2014. Bangalore today has around 75 kilometers of metro connectivity because the government has completed metro line connectivity. I still remember, Rishabh, when I was in school, in high school and everything, the demand for a suburban rail for Bangalore was something that would dominate all newspapers. It was a political discussion. It had not taken place, it had not fructified for 30 years. 30 years. So what happened? So all those areas which were part of Bangalore's suburb, in the 30 years became part of the city's urban area. So the very meaning of suburban rail lost its meaning. In 2022, in the peak of COVID, Modi ji came to Bangalore, cleared this project that was pending from 30 years, and has promised to complete it in 40 months, and the work has started in a fast pace.
Okay.
Second, I'm sure when you have come to Bangalore, getting from airport to inside of the city has been a challenge.
Yes.
Right? And I'll tell you, many times when I have to beat the traffic here in Delhi, we always would take the metro from Shivaji station, go to T3, and walk from there to airport. I was always wondering, bhai, Bangalore mein ye kab hoga? The 2A, 2B metro line got sanctioned under Narendra Modi ji, and I'll tell you, all those who will visit Bangalore, maybe in 2 years, from the airport to inside of the city, from inside of the city to the airport, in flat 45 minutes, you'll be able to go in 2 years from now.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a few examples of what we have done to address the congestion. So there has been a lot of work, the satellite township ring road, a lot of things that has been done, but more needs to be done all across the country to address our municipal governance as a structural problem.
Okay, our time is limited. I can't let you go without asking you this obvious question. Karnataka is an important state for the Bharatiya Janata Party. As we speak, you've seen on the other side the Congress leading this INDI alliance. You know this north-south divide which is being pitted. What do you make of it? Sitting as a BJP MP from Bengaluru, how do you see it?
For a very long time, Rishabhji, in this country, attempts have been made by political forces inimical to the interests of India, interests of Bharat, to create artificial fault lines and divide the country on the basis of race, on the basis of language, on the basis of geography. And this heinous attempt to divide the nation as two political entities, as North and South, that the India Alliance is doing now, is the latest attempt in this long-standing battle that they have been trying to do to dismember the country. I come from the south of India, and I will tell you that there is more in common between the south and the north of this country in terms of a culture than anywhere you go in any part of the world. Even if you go to a continent like Europe, you will not find as much commonality as you will find in between the south and the north. Two things. I want to make a political argument and a cultural argument. Puducherry has a BJP government today in alliance with our partner. Is Puducherry somewhere in the north of India? Consistently from the last 15-20 years, Karnataka has been sending the highest number of MPs from the BJP. From the last 15 years, is Karnataka not in the south of India? Until this elections, Karnataka had a BJP government. And let me give it to you in writing. In less than 10 years, you will see BJP-led governments in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Kerala. And this will be, please save this clip. Please save this clip so that 10 years from now, you will be able to replay this and say how right I was. Because that's how hard the Bharti's cadre is working in the south of India.
Okay,
and I want to give a cultural argument. Just give me 20 seconds. We heard a DMK MP recently speak in the parliament and contend that the North Indian states are Gomutra states. You go to Varanasi, you will find temples which have deities whose main temple is in the south of India, either in Rameshwaram or in Madurai. The beauty of this country is this. Lord Rama was born in the north in the Ayodhya. But his biggest lieutenant, Hanumanta, Lord Hanuman, was born, according to stories, in Karnataka. Krishna was born in the west in Dwaraka. But he married Rukmini, who the Manipuris say come from our state. Our gods and the Sanatana culture has united this nation and has kept this country as one cultural, economic, and political entity. Whosoever tries to dismember the country will be dissolved, because there have been multiple efforts in the past, in the history, where invasions upon invasions, invaders upon invaders have come and tried to dismember the country, and all of them have been confined to the dustbin of political history in the country. The same thing will happen to India Alliance if they dare try to break the country on racial, linguistic, or any other lines.
That could not have been more emphatically answered. Tejasvi Surya, thanks very much. Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on the India News Manch. Appreciate your time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.